This... I can barely withstand this feeling. The mountain, it peers into my soul. Every bone in my weathered body is screaming, begging me to run for my life. Make as much distance between me and those twin peaks as possible. Whatever is there, the repeated visits by the stagecoach and its warriors must have aggravated it to the utmost degree. It is pushing all living things away. A tide of oppressive gloom washes over the land, sapping what little will we have left. Even so, the warriors will still come. They will still ride out to put an end to the loathing and horror that took root in that mountain. And so, I must stay here, for I too have a purpose to fulfill. The glow of that torch will keep me safe. Keep us all safe. All living insane beings are rushing to escape. So many people are trying to escape the indescribable horror chasing them like predators after wounded prey. The influx in visitors meant an influx in trade, and yet no bargaining or haggling was to be seen, as everyone is doing their utmost to grasp at what little possessions they have and escape as fast as their legs or mounts can carry them. It is now that I put my skills as a merchant and proprietor at their best. This is different, much different. I shall barter and trade whatever it takes to see that stagecoach through this final push. If I have to buy at triple the value and sell at a quarter, then so be it. It will cost me whatever little profit I could have made in this crisis, but wealth is worthless in the face of oblivion. The warriors, the heroes, will arrive soon. One final stay at my inn to steel themselves for the battle to come. The wheels of the stagecoach hit the road once more. Perhaps for the last time. As I watch the torch flicker on the horizon once again, my heart is filled with worry. The hearth is nothing more than embers now. The bar and kitchen are bare. Only empty bottles and dirty trays remain. The Wainwright and the guard have already departed. I can no longer afford their retainer, and they must choose their own path forwards. But I cannot bring myself to do the same. My place is here. This inn has been an integral part of my life, and I refuse to abandon it. This has been a sanctuary for heroes who face this world with blazing defiance, who struggle, fight, and persevere even in the darkest of times. I am just as much a part of this crucible as they are. I looked out my window and saw a flickering light approaching. I thought it was another stagecoach, but as quick as my heart rose, it dropped at the horrifying sight. The light wasn't from the torch of a stagecoach, but rather it was being held up by a band of pillagers. They seek to raid and pilfer what little is left. They must think this place an easy target now. I shall not give them the satisfaction. I sold and traded much, but I still have a pistol, some explosives left behind, along with a few other contraptions. This is my inn, my home. This is where I shall make my last stand. Come what may, I will see this through. I will witness the conclusion of this story. I sit among the ruins of my inn, and I could not be happier. As the bandits kicked in the door, I tossed a grenade into the fray and ducked behind a turned-over table. The shrapnel shredded the first one. I stood and took a shot, blowing the head clean off the second. A third and fourth rushed into the building. One of the bandits jumped over the table, knocking the gun out of my hand. But the buffoon failed to see where he was landing and put his foot right into a bear trap. As he howled in pain, I stood up and found myself directly in front of the last bandit. I thought it was all over. When it happened, a mighty earthquake shook the ground beneath my home. The stone cracked, the wood splintered. The last bandit lost his balance and fired his shot into the roof. I seized the distraction and jumped out the window, barely managing to escape being crushed to death. But as I stood outside the ruins of my home, I saw it. Between the two once horrid and oppressive peaks, the light shone, and the sun rose, shedding warmth upon this cold, neglected land. The sun, it is akin to that torch, full of calmness, warmth, and comfort. Soon enough, some stragglers made it to my ruin, and I asked for their aid. None refused, no longer terrified and meek, setting up a small camp together that grew into a group, then a crowd, then a mass of survivors who lived to see the sun return to the land. When we all heard the stamping of horses and turning of wheels on cobblestone, the stagecoach returned. The heroes emerged and spoke of their victory as they aided us in healing the wounded, distributing supplies, rescuing survivors, rebuilding structures, organizing protection, and anything else that needed doing. A new dawn rose above us, and perhaps, with it, a new path for us, one free of the trappings of horror and miasma. Instead, one filled with purpose and hope.